Hello friends, welcome to my channel KATHA MANTHAN. Today I am going to tell you the story The Last Leaf, written by O. Henry. It is an Icse story. So let's begin with the summary of the lesson. Two friends, Sue and Johnsy, were two young artists. They lived together in a small flat on the third story of a house. Johnsy's illness. Pneumonia had spread into the locality. Johnsy fell a victim to it. In spite of medicines, she did not recover. She had lost hope of life. She used to lay by the window side of her room and looked out through the window. A green ivy creeper hung along the wall. Due to rainy and stormy weather, its leaves started falling, one by one. She attached the falling of leaves to the breath she was taking. She felt she would die with the falling of the last leaf. Sue was very worried. She sent for the doctor. He checked Johnsy's conditions, treated her, but there was no improvement in the condition of Johnsy. One day, the doctor asked Sue why Johnsy was absorbed in deep thoughts. Sue didn't know Johnsy wouldn't get well if she lose hopes. The doctor said medicines would work if one loses hope of life. Sue's duty towards her friends. Sue tried her best to divert Johnsy's attention to other things of life. She talked about clothes and fashions, but Johnsy's mind was not of her illness. Suddenly one day Johnsy spoke loudly. 12, 11, 10, reverse counting. Sue asked her what she was doing and came to know that she had lost hope of life. She refused to take soup offered by Sue. She kissed her and tried to encourage her, but her whole efforts were in vain. Painters helped to Johnsy. An old painter named Barman lived on the ground floor. He dreamed of making masterpieces. Sue told of her worries to him. He came to know about Johnsy's whim of the last leaf. The night was very stormy. It was raining heavily. Johnsy looked out of the window. Only one leaf remained on the paper. She thought she would die with the falling of that last leaf. Next morning she looked out again. The leaf was still there, young, green and fresh. She was surprised. She also saw the leaf. Johnsy at once uttered, "I have been a bad girl. I felt it is a sin to want to die." She embraced Johnsy joyfully. Barman's death. In the afternoon, the doctor came. He told them that Barman also had suffered from pneumonia and died in the next morning. They found that his clothes and shoes had gone bad. Moreover, they found a ladder and a lamp with some brushes living near the cripple. They knew that Barman had painted a green leaf on a wall. He had painted a masterpiece and died. This proved very useful for the survival of Johnsy. So friends, let's begin with our theme of the lesson. The Last Leaf is a story of true friendship and selfless sacrifice of ordinary people. The story deals with three artists who lived on an impoverished life but hoped to have great artists one day and wish to paint masterpieces. They are at lower level of the society and strive for success. They are aware about the fate of each other and very well, and therefore support to each other, even at the cost of one's own life. They are impoverished, but their lives are splendid. Though O. Henry champions friendship and notion of selfless sacrifice in the last leaf, yet various other themes are explored in the story. The theme contains love and friendship. In the last leaf, O. Henry not only portrays friendship between two friends, Chauncey and Sue, but also presents the selfless love of Mr. Burman, who is always there to help the two young artists. Sue and Chauncey care for each other, and when Chauncey falls ill, Sue does her best to nurse her to get well soon. When the doctors say that she has lost hope of recovery and is waiting and inviting her own death, Sue does her best to save her and succeed. Fear of death. Death is the absolute truth of every mortal. But fear of death deprives our zeal of life. One, the heroic and daring people challenge and overcome the fear of death. The Last Leaf is a short story that deals with the beauty of life and faith in living life. It deals with the importance of living with the courage of overcoming the fear of death and boosts up the zeal to fight up against hindrances. Death is a significant feature of one's life, but when death influences our mind and soul, we die much before death actually occurs. O. Henry seems to be suggesting here that one should not fear death, and that is the only way to make our life worth living and an interesting journey. Pessimism. When a glass has only half the water it can contain, the optimist would call it half full and would enjoy drinking it, whereas the pessimist would think it is half empty and would brood over it. A pessimist remains haunted with dark aspects and negative feelings, so he or she cannot live life fully. In the last leaf, Chauncey is presented as a pessimistic individual who has lost all zeal of life as the thought of death has permeated her mind and soul as she became ill. What life needs is a positive attitude. With positive attitude, great battles can be won. Chauncey's positive attitude is lost and she is waiting for her death. The gloom and pessimism of a person can be more dangerous than the disease itself. That was the case with Chauncey. O. Henry presents the situation very well when he says about Chauncey in the story that she was looking out of window and counting backwards. True humanity. When one lives for oneself, one is living, but when one lives for other, it is true humanity, a noble quality. Though there are few people of noble nature who think for others, yet some are true human who don't hesitate even to sacrifice their lives for the sake of others' life. In the story The Last Leaf, Mr. Burman is one of them. He risks his life. Chauncey, who is no one to her, but an artist who is just his neighbor. He gets success in saving the life of Chauncey but dies himself due to pneumonia. Lesson of optimism. Hope plays a vital role in living our life with full zeal and hope. It is optimism which can make us win dangerous situations. In this story, if we find Chauncey to be very pessimistic, then on the other hand we figure out other characteristics are optimistic. Sue is optimistic and she is able to fight against Chauncey's pessimism and her disease. Burman is optimistic that his masterpiece instills hope in Chauncey. Thus, O. Henry has given the message of optimism. Masterpiece is a great work of art. Like a painting, sculpture, or piece of music, or any creative written work, it is the highest of someone's artistic abilities. All the artists in the story The Last Leaf want to create masterpiece and strive towards it. Old Burman, who made his effort throughout his life, makes the masterpiece by painting leaf in the ivy tree. which saves Chauncey's life. During the process of painting it on a windy, rainy, cold night, Berman is infected by pneumonia and he dies. His work saves someone who cares for her. Therefore, it is a masterpiece. So friends, let's discuss few question answers on these topics. Justify the title of the story, The Last Leaf. The whole story centers around the last leaf. The setting of O. Henry, The Last Leaf is a Greenwich village. New York, Chauncey, Sue, and Berman are three of the poor, impoverished artists who hope to make a masterpiece one day. One November, Chauncey suffers from pneumonia that has killed so many people at that time. Chauncey is in despair as she thinks that she is also going to die. Furthermore, she connects her life with the falling leaves of ivy creeper. She believes that the moment the last leaf falls, she will die. Her friend Sue does not know what to do except worrying and constant nursing. Then, on a cold, rainy, windy night, it is quite apparent that the last leaf is falling. Sue goes to Berman, who defies the cold, wet night, to paint a leaf on the outdoor vine to restore the dying Chauncey's will to live. The doctor tells Hughes that Mr. Berman died of pneumonia during the night. The last leaf which boosts Chauncey's hope of living when she sees it next morning is Berman's masterpiece that eluded him in life. Thus the title is justified as it is the main element of the story and connects all the three important characters of the story. It is the leaf which saves the life of Chauncey and takes Berman's life. Therefore, the title is appropriate and justified. Thank you friends. Thank you for watching my channel Katha Manthan.